Hello friends and followers. Please let me show you how 5000 trading's 2 consecutive candles strategy works. The key element of this strategy is a pattern consisting of 2 consecutive candles. For example, for a long pattern we need to see a positive candle followed by another positive candle. A valid pattern must fulfill certain conditions. The second candle must have a higher high compared to the high of the first candle. Then it's important that the close of the first candle is higher than its open. Also, the close of the second candle must be higher than the close of the first candle. Finally, the second candle must have higher close than the close of the first candle. Once these conditions are met, these 2 consecutive long candles form a long pattern. We can draw an imaginary rectangle around both candles to measure the length of the pattern. This pattern happens to be 10 pips long because the price distance from the low of the first candle to the high of the second candle is 10 pips. Let me delete everything except the pattern. The strategy looks for 4 patterns where each subsequent pattern must have a higher close of the second candle compared to the close of the second candle in the previous pattern. Let's draw horizontal lines from each pattern to see if the close of the following pattern is higher. In other words, a new pattern can only be opened if the close of the second candle is higher than the previous pattern. To make it easier to identify and recognize these 4 patterns, let's call them family members: dad, mom, son, and daughter. A new pattern, or a new family member, can only appear if the previous family member is healthy. Please let me explain. This is a healthy pattern until the market price falls below the pattern's low. The market starts moving in the opposite way. Once it breaks through the low, the pattern becomes sick. A sick pattern will lose its solid background color and the rectangle around it will be dashed. When there's a sick pattern, the strategy will look for another healthy pattern of the same family member. For example, if dad becomes sick, mom won't be opened until another healthy dad is found. Let's have a look at some strategy settings. You can choose your preferred color for each family member. Dad is gray, mom is blue, son is yellow, and daughter is red. For example, for a strategy in long direction, if stop loss level offset is set to 100%, then it will be placed 100% of the pattern size below its low. The risk for pattern is being entered in money. In this case, the strategy will calculate the appropriate lot size for a position to lose $80. It is calculated for a distance from pattern entry level to its stop loss. On the chart, it will look something like this. And now let me show how to set up the strategy on the chart with all settings. This is the cTrader platform, and the open instrument is the Australian dollar against US dollar. The selected time frame is 15 minutes. I would like to trade the Australian dollar long. On the 19th I saw buying activity and obvious buying strength. Drawing a rectangle around this interesting buying activity, I can see that the market continues to trade close to the high of the buying activity. When I measure the marked buying activity, I see a size of 32 pips. I think the market could go another 32 pips higher. When I look there, I see a target price of 64.91. So that would be my profit target, where I would like to target my trade. I'll mark the predicted target with a line for my own reference. Today is the 20th of September and the market is still trading close to the high of the previous buying activity. I would like to go long somewhere near this level. If the market were to make a small pullback to this previous pivot high, I would want to activate the strategy on 2 consecutive candles. This means an entry price of 64.59. After activating the strategy, I would like to go up to the price of 64.91, where I would like to take my profit and close everything. For ATS ID setting, I'll choose number 1. If I want, I can open other strategies on other charts at the same time. On each subsequent chart with the same instrument, I then choose a different ID number so that the strategies don't get mixed up. I want the strategy to be active all day with no time limit, so I leave zeros in the start hour and end hour fields. If I wanted the strategy to be active only at a certain time of the day, say from 8 AM to 10 PM, I would enter the values 8 and 22 here. I want to trade the strategy long, so I will select long. I'm in backtesting mode, so I need to fill in the strategy start time here for the 20th of September at 2 am. Next, I will enter the strategy's activation price. I was talking about the pullback entry, it's located at price 64.59, so I'll fill it in here. I'll set the target price for profit at 64.91. If I wanted to close part of the positions during the trade, say 25% of all open positions, I would enter 25% in the partial close field here. If I eventually want to move the stop loss to break even, I will fill in the offset value here to 1 pip. That is, it will move the stop loss to break even plus 1 pip. Overall, I want to risk $500 on the strategy. This means that if the sum of all open and closed positions is negative $500, the strategy will exit and close all open positions. Next, I do not want to open a pattern that is smaller than 2 pips. I also don't want to open a pattern bigger than 25 pips. And since I'm targeting a specific price of 64.91, I'll leave the box for determining the target price by the multiplied percentage of the first pattern at 0. I choose 100% for the stop loss level offset because I want the stop loss to always be placed as a full-size pattern below the current low of each newly found pattern. I risk $80 on a position in the pattern. This means that I can survive up to 6 stop losses in total before the entire strategy ends in a loss. But of course I don't think that's going to happen, and even though the market may go against me, I'm counting on smart pattern openings with common logic to hit the intended target. My broker charges a fee of $3.90 per lot, so I enter this figure in commission per lot. The strategy takes this fee into account when calculating the required position size and includes it in the risked amount of $80 per position. I have chosen the following colors for each member of the family. So it's the 20th of September after the markets open, I have a strategy running with the setup described. The activation level at the price of 64.59 is shown in blue on my chart. I see a blue traffic light at the top, which means the strategy is not yet active. It only becomes active when the price touches the activation price. The price is going against me more than I originally thought. But I don't mind too much because there hasn't been a single pattern with 2 consecutive green candles according to the rules. So I'm just waiting for some to show up. I'll stop here for a moment. The advantage of this strategy is that even if the market goes against me from the activation level, nothing really happens. No positions are open and I do not have any positions in the red numbers. The more the price falls now, the more I can profit when the price eventually reaches the profit target. And here we have the first valid pattern, as these 2 consecutive green candles fulfill all the necessary conditions. It's daddy. If the price falls below our first daddy's low, he'll get sick. And it just happened, daddy is sick, because the price hit his low. So we'll be looking for a new pattern, a new daddy. If one is found, the current position of the sick dad will close and the new healthy dad will open. The next pattern will probably have a different size and an adjusted stop loss at a different price. Based on this, a new position size is calculated so that only $80 is lost if the stop loss is hit. Another valid pattern has been found. As you can see, the previous sick daddy ended with a small loss and a new healthy daddy opened. But another daddy here has also got sick. So another new valid pattern is sought and the position of the second sick daddy is terminated with the opening of the third daddy. There's a third daddy. As I can now see, I was quite wrong about the activation level. The market is trading 10 pips below the activation level and the realized loss so far is about $35 out of the total $500 risked. Well done. The third father remained healthy, so the mother took on another new pattern. Another pattern or a new family member can only be acquired if the previous family member is healthy. And it can only be opened at a higher price, thus eliminating the possible accumulation of multiple patterns on the same horizontal level. If the market now goes sideways, another new member of the family will not be acquired. The price will have to rise to a higher high. Great. We have another member of the family. The sun opened because the close of the second candle of the new valid pattern is at a higher high than the opening price of the mother. Now it needed one last family member. And yes, a daughter has appeared. This completes the family. The strategy has acquired 4 positions and will not open any more. The price is gradually rising, dangerously close to the profit target, and the current total unrealized profit from all 4 open positions is more than $500. Now I would like to pause for a moment. The price is quite close to the profit target, but the price of $64.91 has not yet been reached. Have you also noticed that in these cases the price manages to reverse just before the profit target and returns to the entry level? If I am worried about this happening, I have the option to move all stop losses on open positions to their entry prices plus the 1 pip offset I have set. I'd better do it now. After pressing the break-even button, the stop loss is moved. Did you see that? I don't want to risk the entire $500 as the price is quite far from the entry point. But I don't want to close it now either. I'd like to wait for the originally planned profit. I can also press the button to deactivate the strategy. This means that if the lower stop losses are hit, no new patterns will be acquired once this button is pressed. I'm just going to wait and see if the profit target is hit or if the price goes back to the entries and hits the moved stop losses. The worst maximum loss will be around $35. When the strategy is deactivated, the traffic light turns purple. Brilliant! My projected profit target has been hit. Note that the position sizes really do vary depending on the size of the positions. But if their stop loss was hit, each position would only mean a flat loss of $80. All in all, a good trade. The original idea worked, the market did indeed manage to make a roughly double move up and the planned profit target was finally hit. After hitting the trigger level, the market went against me for a few more hours, but the strategy worked great and gradually acquired 4 healthy family members. Just before the target profit level was reached, I moved the stop loss on all positions to the entry price plus 1 pip. And I deactivated the strategy. I hope you enjoy it and wish you success in your own trading.